Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Here we go.
I'm checking out. I will respond to you, but I'm done for the week. I'm done.
Steve is my favorite part of the show. How's that?
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Check for sound.
Pleasure to be on there talking with Paulie, man. He's a good dude.
I'm an idiot. I'll just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac.
3, 2, 1, and
This is Orange Nation.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Stephen Fonte and Paulie Sibilia.
Check it out. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to have you with us. Alongside Paulie Sibilia, I'm Stephen Fontes. We welcome you into a Wednesday edition of Orange Nation, game day edition of the show. The Orange back in action tonight. Late start, 9 p.m. tip inside the Dome, Syracuse and Virginia Tech. We'll talk with David Teal coming up at 1:30, Hall of Fame sports writer and columnist down in Virginia. We'll talk Virginia Tech and ACC basketball with David. Prior to that, as promised, we will have the head coach of the SU football team, Fran Brown, joining us live at 1 o'clock. Plus, we'll mix in your phone calls throughout at 315-437-7644. What's up, Paulie?
Not much, Steve. Couple things. I want to do some housekeeping before we get into the
let's
basketball.
do that.
I want to apologize to you publicly last night because I came at you.
You
hard
insulted me
in a text message. I did. I compared you to our chat last night, and it was because you said that Miami was not a Quad 1 team, and I was clearly watching on a slower stream, and you were watching probably satellite direct at the station, and I was like, this game's not over. And you're like, yeah, they
It's
lost.
over. It's done.
They lost. So you were in the future, and I was in the past, and I was yelling at you for that. It was not a good night for Miami last night. But,
It was not.
But like I said, the middle of the pack teams are going to take bad losses. It's just part of life. And they can afford it more, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the danger when I get here early is then we end up doing our first segment before we get on the air. But as I said to you before we came on, Miami has the ability right now to absorb that loss, given their resume. Syracuse does not have that ability at the moment to absorb that loss. And so that's why it's different.
Yeah, and before we get into it, I also want to do a welfare check on you, Steve. Are you okay right now after the Bills press conference?
You know,
because it's all over Twitter.
It is all over Twitter, and if we're being honest, not really. I said to you guys, you and Tim, that I didn't think I could feel worse as a Bills fan until that press conference. Right? I mean, they lose the game, they fire the coach, and today was supposed to be about repairing things and moving forward. And I don't think they made it worse. Terry Pagula, Brandon Beane made it worse today. I have a hard time believing some of what I heard in that press conference. The Keon Coleman, again, I don't know how much you saw of it, but they threw Keon Coleman under the bus and said that it was basically, Terry Pagula stepped in on the question. It was like, it was the coaching staff. Coaching staff wanted Keon Coleman. There's video circulating right now of Brandon Beane from the combine saying, he ran a 4.57. That's good because it'll be easier to get him that way. Like, he wanted Keon Coleman. The fact that they distanced themselves from so many things. He claims that Josh had no idea that this was coming, which I find that hard to believe that he didn't at least run it past him. He said that the decision was made solely because of the Broncos game, that he saw guys crying in the locker room, and that's when he decided he needed to make a change. And, oh, by the way, that was a catch. So you think it was a catch, but guys are crying, so you're going to fire the coach. There was so many contradictions in that press conference that I feel worse today than I did yesterday.
Very similar situation happening in Baltimore, too. Did you see that the Harbaugh wanted Puka Nacua, and they didn't draft him, and now He's out of a job. Let's
Yeah.
get. You want to get to the phones now and talk a little
I do. I
basketball?
want to address in the chat. A few people are talking about The Verge. Bill Call, Alphabet guy in the chat. I actually said I texted you guys before the show. This is big for me to admit this, but I said to you in a text message, I no longer feel like they're on The Verge. So this is a sad day for me. Because at the moment, and maybe I'll come around by the time next season kicks off, and let's see who they get as head coach and what they do in the draft and whatnot. But right this second, I do not feel Vergy at all. And it's the first time in, 4 or 5 years that has been the case.
One random thing in our chat for people watching on Q Sports Talk. If you want to see this handsome show up close, you can watch us, Q Sports Talk. Paulie looking like an earthworm. I don't know if that's because I'm wearing pink or because I'm freshly shaven.
Oh.
And I just look like a mole
Combination. Combination of both.
Bare face, and I look like one of those naked mole rats. Speaking of naked mole rats, let's go to Pat. Pat, how are you?
Pat, what's going on?
So let me ask you, Paulie, is it shaven or shaved?
Shaven, right?
Clean shaven.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be yes.
Okay, that's fair. So I listened to you guys yesterday, and I saw a little separation in Steve's take versus Paulie's take. Even though you guys are kind of saying the same thing in a different way. And I feel like a lot of times, Paulie,
it's funny. We kind of hashed it out because I explained it in a more calm manner to him today. And I think we're on the same page, but go ahead.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a lot of times what happens, even when me and Steve disagree or me and Paulie disagree, a lot of times it's a lot closer to the same reality. It's just said in a different way or heard in a different way or misspoken. So I'm going to try to be as concise as possible. I really believe that the best way to look at the BC loss is it's like 2 losses. I mean, it really is. Part of it is what Steve said. You had one bad loss, and you could have threw a little bit of that on Donnie not being there, and the profile with Donnie Freeman on Syracuse was strong. And that's the profile that could have been presented in the discussions with the committee. I think at the end of the day, this is a NCAA tournament roster, but it is unfortunately not an NCAA tournament coaching staff. I believe that Boston College is in the bottom 3 in coaching staffs and resources and NIL. And I could go down the list of every category, facilities, tradition. I can go right down the list from the top to the bottom. And BC is probably in the bottom 3 in 8 or 9 out of 10 of those. And Syracuse losing that game, look, it's all about rhythm. It's all about momentum. It's all about fan base. They hear the noise, which doesn't help. They hear the boos, which doesn't help. None of that helps. But this is a massive loss of epic proportion to the tune of, let's say, I think what you were saying before the BC loss, Paulie, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, is, you needed probably anywhere from 2 to 4 quad 1 wins and then take care of business, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so playing off of that, right now, you probably need, like you said, and maybe incorrectly or maybe correctly, you're going to need at least 1 more, maybe 2 more than that. And that's the difference. The difference is if everything else goes as planned, this Boston College loss in and of itself is going to keep you out of the tournament. And that's going to cost Red his job. So it is a huge loss. It is inexcusable. Not following is, I don't know, I heard and then I had to take care of something at work, so I didn't hear exactly what you said about the foul. Are you not a proponent to following in that situation when you're up 3?
I was not, because of this team's ability to shoot free throws. Donnie had
whose ability? Boston
Syracuse's.
Okay.
So if you foul and then you come down and miss again, you lose the game.
I think the point that I was trying to make yesterday, Pat, and I don't know if you agree with this. This is kind of where I sit on it. I think that with 17 seconds left, there was probably too much time to foul. Because to Paulie's point, now it becomes a free throw shooting contest. If you start fouling with 17 seconds left, you might have to make a pair of 2-shot foul shots, right? If 4, I'm saying, like, there might be 2 more possessions where you got to step to the line and make 2 free throws. And I don't know if we feel comfortable enough with this team stepping to the line and going 4 for 4 in that situation. I think that. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think the 3-headed monster, when you look at the roster and then look at why they're not going to make the tournament, one of them is free throws.
Yeah.
two of them. The second one is Nate George, and the third one is Adrian Autry. Those three things, if they were doing their job, if you were even a middle-of-the-pack free throw shooting team, if Nate George was even playing at a level of a middle-of-the-road ACC point guard, and if Red Autry was even close to a middle-of-the-road ACC coach, this team is a lock for the tournament right now. And the fact that it's not, I think the fan base is just exhausted. I mean, so many different people. Some have already checked out long before this BC loss. Some checked out last year and have not come back. Some came back and have rode this roller coaster this year, which has been crazy, where I was so excited even after the Houston loss that I thought this was going to be a fun year. This year is not fun. It's supposed to be entertainment, and it's not. And I hope my call was, and I hope your show is. Have a great show.
All right, Pat. Thank you for checking in.
I am not ready to give up yet. Because as I was discussing with you, is it a tall task? Yes, but this team is good enough to finish in the top 6 of this conference. And I think that's what you got to do. It might even be top 7 because it's a good year. And I think if they do that, you're going to have enough quad 1 wins and you're going to be fine. Every one of these middling teams is going to have a bad loss. Stanford's already got one. SMU, everybody's going to have a bad loss when you're not Duke, Virginia, Clemson lost to, they don't have a bad loss. They lost to NC State. NC State has a bad loss at home. It's going to happen to these teams. You got to hope you win your quad 1s and the tournament committee says, okay, they lost even the Hofstra game without their best player, and you're going to lose a game in conference that you shouldn't, no matter who you are.
And that's why I kind of go back to the Hofstra game in that you're right. Every team, virtually every team, Miami of Ohio seems to be an outlier. They somehow keep finding ways to win. Every team stubs its toe at some point, right? Yeah. They lose to a team they shouldn't. The problem in this case is that, you're either going to... everybody's going to lose a non-conference game they should win or a conference game. Syracuse did both, right? They've got the bad loss to Hofstra in the non-conference. I know Donnie wasn't there, but it's still on their resume. And then they really couldn't afford to do it again. And, you get one, I think, that you're kind of absolved of because everybody does it and everybody's going to have a bad loss. But now you've got a second one, and that second one, to me, is going to be a problem unless they go on a major run. Like you're suggesting, that's what you said before the show. I was like, okay, I could sign up for that. If you said if this team finishes in the top 6. If this team finishes in the top 6 of the ACC, that means they won a lot of games. Yeah. And if you win a lot of games, and, we all know the schedule, they've got, 6 to 8 quad 1 opportunities left, depending on, how the other teams do. If you win that many games to finish in the top 6, you're going to have a bunch of quad 1s, and maybe your resume will be good enough. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know if that's realistic, right? That's a very tall order to expect this team to go on a run like that.
Well, the bottom line is they were going to have to do this anyways, is my take.
Right, but maybe not to that extent. Yeah. Like if you remove the BC
so if you
game,
were 7 or 8, you could...
Yeah, right, because right now, you look at the bracketology, they've got, Joey Brackets, for instance. I know he's not the only one out there. He's got 8 ACC teams in right now and Virginia Tech in the first 4 out. So that's 9 that are right there.
Well, that's why you go and beat Virginia Tech tonight. Someone said, name one top 5 team that's got a bad loss. The almighty Will Wade lost to Georgia Tech at home. Thank you. There's one.
Miami last night lost to Florida State at home, and Florida State had yet to win a conference game. It happens.
Yes.
But again, that's the difference, is that Miami can absorb that right now because they were 30th in the net ranking going into last night. Syracuse cannot absorb that. They could not lose that game to BC, and they did.
I don't know if it's a good loss or a bad loss yet, and they don't have their best player, but Louisville lost to Stanford.
Right. Yes, and Louisville's been without Michael Brown for a little bit here, and
so it happens.
Right. It does happen, but that's why you have your resume in such a way that you do have a margin for error. Syracuse does not have that safety net right now.
Like, it's funny to hear everybody talk out one side and then the other. Like, this roster's good enough. Well, then they are. They're still good enough. Like, is the coach that big of a... Did the coach cause 18 turnovers? There's a part of this, too, where the players got to step up.
Yes.
They got to make their free throws. Do we not like the subbing patterns? No, that's got to stop too. You got to figure things out, and maybe you hope they do it because it's still a talented team.
It is a talented team. I do think that this team is talented enough to make the NCAA tournament.
And I don't think Red's a bozo.
Right.
Like, I think he'll figure it out too.
Yeah, and again, I mean, people don't want to hear this, but there has been some bad luck along the way, right? The injury to Donnie Freeman was bad luck. The fact that, if they make one extra free throw against Houston, Hofstra, and BC, they win those games. Like that for Red, that's bad luck.
Yeah.
It's not bad luck for the players. They got to step up and do it. But there has been some semblance of bad luck here as well, and it's unfortunate because if any of those things go differently, the resume looks a lot better than it does at the moment. And I said this yesterday. I'm going to say it again. The team can't look at this big picture right now because if they look at a big picture, it's daunting to the point of that could be frustrating and that could be demoralizing in the locker room. I think they truly just need to look at this as one game at a time. And I know that's a cliche, but they just like they kind of worked their way back after the Clemson loss and they started stacking wins, and then obviously they stubbed their toe against BC. They just got to start stacking wins. Take care of Virginia Tech, take care of Miami, and just kind of see where you are as you continue to climb through the season. Because if you look at a big picture right now, it does not look good.
Right. Q's B-ball says 7 turnovers from the guy who should have been off the court. Right. This brings you back to the Judah Mintz argument. You gotta, even if he's having a bad game, and he's had multiple bad games, you gotta ride the guys that are the most talented down the stretch. Now, you gotta have them in to take the lead too, and I think that's got to stop where you're taking them out and losing momentum.
Yeah. It's the turnovers are a problem, and I don't have an answer for it. I mean, you see Nate George with these games. I gave the stats yesterday on News Channel 9. He's had 9 games this year of 4 or more turnovers. He's had 7 games. 7 of those 9, he's had 5 or more turnovers. That cannot happen. And you're getting to the point of the season. We asked Matt Park this last week when we had him on about, I think I said, are we getting to the point of the season where he's going to start losing some minutes? I think you're kind of there, right? If not now, when? 9 games, that's half the games you've played. He's had 4 or more turnovers. Yeah. 7 of them, he's had 5 or more. You can't do that as the point guard. Like you can live with turnovers, especially if they're aggressive turnovers. A lot of his turnovers are just, how did that happen? Why did that happen? Yeah. Why did you make that pass? Why did you let the defender just rip it from you? That's got to change moving forward, and that's something to keep your eye on tonight because Virginia Tech does very well with turnover margin. They're 3rd in the ACC in that category, plus 3 per game.
Hughes B-Ball says you pull him from the game and leave it at that. He single-handedly lost the game. Yes, he did, but who are you putting in?
Well, you're putting in JJ to handle the point.
I know,
right.
but you're losing. Cayenne hasn't been great lately.
Cayenne's been struggling on defense. You're right in that there is a trickle-down effect. But I think the initial solution of what do you do with Nate, it probably starts with put him on the bench, slide JJ to the 1, and then you gotta live
down
with
the stretch.
You gotta live with the trickle-down effect. That's why there's not a simple answer for this.
No, I think you got to roll in the
because you're right. Because Cayenne is a liability on defense.
And he wasn't he hasn't been scoring the past couple games either. And Cayenne is young and he's going to get better. And Nate, the only person that's going to make George better is himself. And he's got to do it. And I said it yesterday and not so nice. So he's got to get his head out of his ass. I mean, that's what my dad would tell me.
Red was asked about it on Monday at the weekly ACC teleconference, and he said that he knows he's got to be better. And, they've had some conversations about it. And I think the phrase that I saw was, don't try to hit a home run, just take the single sometimes. And the thing with that is I don't necessarily see him on a regular basis trying to make the spectacular passes. Not like he's throwing behind the back passes on the fast break and throw it away. It's fundamental stuff.
He dribbles off his foot. He steps out of bounds. He holds the ball at a spot. It just gets ripped. Like you can't do that.
Right.
He looked like a child getting candy taken from him in the BC game a couple times.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It is frustrating. That is our opening drive. It's brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero. Phone lines open at 315-437-7644. We are back after this on ESPN Radio.
Catch the Syracuse basketball pregame prior to every game.
The only problem with Betsy in the 2 spot is he can't handle the ball. I could move Kings to the 2. but he can only go left. So you're kind of stuck. Do you and Vito like decide to call in each day together? Guys, I'm not glazing red. The next coach that comes in, if he's gone, I'm going to probably be the same way with him. I want him to win.
I shocked myself badly. Kevin, I did a little bit better last night. Thank you for asking. It's been a rough stretch lately, but no, last night was okay. Michael Antonio, I'm not a huge fan of Gruden as head coach. Like, I think he's,
Wait, Gruden's unhireable.
I agree. Yeah. What I was going to say was I don't want it to be a circus. Like, they just need a guy who can, like, let Josh be Josh, like, get the pieces around it. Like, this team isn't that far away from a talent perspective. Like, yes, they got to beef up their defense. I don't want the head coach to turn into, like, a sideshow. So, I do not want Gruden as the head coach.
Pat, I didn't say I didn't want you to call. It's funny that Vito only calls in and Dro only calls in after you call in. You guys don't have, like, separate days. Are you guys on the same schedule?
I'll say this, Michael Antonio, and I know you're not a Bills fan. Yes, Josh cost them the Broncos game. You can't turn the ball over that many times. He has done a much better job in recent years not doing that. I mean, I'm sure you probably saw, if you watched the game, you saw the stats that in the last 8 playoff games, the touchdown to turnover ratio was insane. I mean, Josh has been good for the most part, decision making, especially in the playoffs. He just wasn't against the Broncos. But I mean, I think that was more of an outlier than like, it's Josh is just being Josh. Josh being Josh kind of went out the window like 3 years ago.
I wanted to do that at one point, CJC.
Josh has become a much better improviser than he used to be. He used to take chances and risks that did not need to be taken.
Nobody gives a shit about the Bills.
They in the chat, they do. We're talking.
Now you're talking the Bills because it's you.
What are you talking about?
When we're talking,
my opinion.
When you're talking SU, you're just like, me.
They're asking my opinion.
When we're talking SU, you just sit there and look at your phone.
They were asking my opinion about something, so I was responding.
You guys found the one thing Josh, that Steve will talk about with you.
I don't mind having conversations. It's when it's
you
like... You
hate their SU takes.
No,
I get it.
It's when it becomes personal that I just kind of sit those conversations out. But if you want to talk, I'll talk.
Yell at them like you did to Philly's Most Wanted that day. That was fun. Artist of the Day, Kid and Play, because the Too Hype went gold on this day, Steve.
Nice.
This sounds like they made it on a Casio keyboard in their basement. Last night, Steve, did you see House Party?
I did.
Fan?
It was okay. I like the music. Love Kid and Play.
Friends of the program. Let's go to Vito.
Vito, what's up?
Paulie, man. You're calling me out in the comments.
I know. I was just saying, it's funny that you and Pat are on the same, you've synced. Like, you guys only call in on the same days.
It's a coincidence, actually, that I came in. I've been very busy lately. But anyways, I happened to tune in when Pat was on. It was a coincidence. So that's not why I'm calling. So let me ask you a question. First of all, Nathan George had the worst plus-minus on the team. He was -12. He shot 2 for 8. He had 7 turnovers. He only had 2 assists. Do you ever have a bad day at work?
Yes, all the time.
Where you're not performing up to par. You're like, I got to step away for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're probably the best one in the building at your job, and you should be there. But sometimes, maybe you got to take a break one day. You don't have it. That goes for everybody. In this case, like I said in the post-game call, I was there at the game. I think it was even worse in person. But I said, this is the kind of thing where the coach says to the player, it's not your night. I'm going to take you off. It's nothing serious. You're not losing your starting job. It's just not your night. It was that bad. We obviously can't go back and say this would have happened. But I feel that if he had JJ in there, whose plus-minus was, I'm not hinging everything on plus-minus. I just think it's a great indicator. His was -1, was the best on the team with anybody who had meaningful minutes. Sadiq White had 0. He barely played. But for all the people that had meaningful minutes, JJ was the best player, the best option. I couldn't believe in overtime the starting lineup came out for overtime, and I saw George walking out there. I was like, this guy's nuts. He does not know what he's doing. And they would have won the game if he was not on the court. If he was on there for maybe half or 20 minutes, I think he played 31 minutes. If he was out there for maybe 20 and JJ was playing over him, they would have won the game.
I don't know that. That's it. We don't know. It could have gone haywire too. So.
I will say
but
this.
He was
yeah, go ahead.
bad.
He was. It happens. And I thought he should have been sat in the first half. And it's just I think you got to roll with the lineup you have and what you're used to down the stretch.
It was one of those things as a soccer player. He had 2 left feet. He couldn't get out of his own way. He was tripping. When he got his pocket picked at midcourt in that crucial point, he went down, kind of redeemed himself, got the ball back, but stepped out. And then Cloud Autry called. I don't mean to call him that. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but he calls for a review.
He didn't call for the review.
Right, so that should at least be thrown out there.
Yeah,
he was told to review.
Yeah.
He was told to review it from, the bench and those who had the iPads. So, yes, I mean, that was inexplicable, right? Like, it was obvious to everybody that he stepped out of bounds.
Timeout.
Right, they did. I know Red ultimately called it, but Red trusts his guys, right? I mean, there's it's your job to look at an iPad. Should we challenge? Should we not challenge? He was told to challenge, so he did.
And I'm watching him. I was right behind the bench there. I'm watching him whenever bad things happen, and he just turns to his assistants and whines, and he doesn't really use them as a teaching moment. Maybe he does when they walk to the bench a little bit, but in those moments, he turns around and whines at everybody. It's like I just felt like this was the one game where you just pull that starter off the court. It was not his night. He was that bad. He was running into 3-4 players at a time. He didn't get the shot up against Houston at the end there. He just has not shown that he should have the ball at the end. I don't know why JJ didn't have it. JJ's had his problems. We've all complained about him, but he should have had the ball there at the end. He's earned it. He's been here almost his whole career. So that's all I got today, guys.
All right, Vito. Yeah, I do agree that JJ should have the ball in his hands at the end. The one thing I'll say in response to Vito's call is that, Vito, and I know what he's saying. Like, I'm not taking issue with what he's saying. He's saying it was one bad night. The problem with this conversation is that it isn't just one bad night. They've played 5 conference games right now, Paulie. He's got 26 turnovers in the 5 conference games. 3, 6, 6, 4, 7. this wasn't
3 and 4 are okay.
It was 6, 4, and 7 are not okay. I mean, the 3 was against Clemson. The last 4 games, he has 23 turnovers in 4 games. That is astronomical for your starting point guard. And so that's, I guess, and I understand what Vito's saying, not taking issue with what he said, but it wasn't just one bad game. This has been a trend now with his decision making, and it's got to get better. You need your starting point guard to be better than that. Should he still be playing? Yes, of course. Like, they need him to be good. Like, they need him to be good. I do think JJ at the point makes sense. I think JJ with the ball in his hands at the end would make sense. But you still need Nate George to be a factor on this team. And right now,
he's your point guard.
There are games where he does more harm than good. And this last game against BC, in a spot where they couldn't afford to lose, he was a big reason why they lost the game.
Dude, I want to address one more thing, because I like to point out the silliness of people just being mad at the coach for no reason. Every coach in the country turns to his assistant coach and whines when there's mistakes.
Right.
Like
or the players
Pitino
on the
does
bench.
it, You know. Or the guys sitting at I've seen coaches yell to their SID sitting at the scorer's table. Like, what the hell are these guys doing? It happens. If he wasn't talking to the coaches, people would be like, he's not even getting mad. He's not even looking at his coaches. Well, listen to your coaches. So, yeah, you just can't win when you're losing.
Josh Pastner last night happened to be watching UNLV. It was on. It was late. I was about to go home, and they were on the road. UNLV was on the road, and the clock operator started the clock late, and the officials immediately stopped it, and he went over and started like berating the clock operator.
It was funny that happened at BC too. They fired the horn while Nate Kings was about to shoot a free throw, and Red went off on the guy.
Yeah, right. Just do your job, right?
Let's go to
Scooter's. Okay.
Let's go to Drew first.
Okay.
Scooter could be all over the place.
Drew, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey.
I guess Drew could be all over the place too. What's up?
I had to call in.
What's up?
But I love you guys, and thank you for always doing what you do. So this time it's just a positive phone call. Thank you for always being there and listening, and Steve, stop putting up with Paulie.
If I stopped putting up with him, there would be no show, so I kind of have to.
We are Syracuse's sounding board. We are here for you guys to yell and scream, and then, and it doesn't matter that it's Red or any other coach. I would probably have the same takes. Yeah, I really would.
Yeah,
you guys hated me for defending Boeheim too. I'm not a coach. I don't know what I would do in these situations, and it's not as easy as like Vito just said. We would have won if this happened.
You don't know.
You don't know that.
You don't know that.
It's so easy in hindsight and not being responsible for what's going on to say we would have won if.
I feel comfortable saying, if Donnie makes the free throw, they win the game. Yeah. But still, you don't know. I mean, I saw somebody come back from down 4 with 5.5 seconds left the other night and win the game.
This team probably
in
would have thought to foul then, and they hit a 3 at the same time.
Yeah, right. So it's I mean, you truly don't know what's going to happen if hindsight is 20/20. You're able to look back and say that didn't go right, but Nate George has been hurting them, and I think we can all see that.
And I think it's Philly's Most Wanted in the chat is saying Boeheim said you play who's playing well at the end of the game. The one of the biggest arguments we've ever had on this show, Judemans was having an awful game, and he left him in at Miami, and they lost. So I don't know that he definitely says you take out who's not playing good at the end of the game, because everybody hated him for leaving JJ in at the end of the game.
Right. I texted you that this weekend. I said, is Samir Torrance available?
Yeah. Let's go to Scooter. Scooter, what's up?
Scooter, what's up?
I'm all over the place. What do you want? Listen, first of all, I don't know if it's just social media, but we're out and somebody on their phone got that they suspended the officials of the Buffalo-Denver game. I don't know if that's official. You guys would have been talking about it, so that could have just been a rumor. They weren't going to go on and do any more playoff games. They were suspended for the playoffs, so I don't know if that's true or not. The Syracuse situation, Paulie, you and I you talk about it, and I agree with the substitute situation. The one I don't understand is Betsy. The guy hits 5-6 threes. And against Florida State, what did he get? Only 10 minutes against Boston College? I mean, here's a guy here that's he's a threat. You put King on one side, you put Betsy on the other side. It's going to open up Freeman on the inside because you can't
you can't. I mean, both those guys can hit, unlimited range. And to me, being on the court, and if you were going to take out George, I would put Betsy in there. And basically, I think Virginia Tech plays a lot of outside. So the center position, I would eliminate the center position tonight because they run a lot of weaves outside, and you're probably not going to have a center trying to guard people. That's what their MO in the past have been. Just work the ball a lot and then settle for threes.
All right, Scooter. Appreciate you checking in. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out tonight. This Virginia Tech team is very interesting, right? They're 3-3 in conference play, 14-5 overall. As we said, they're really right on the bubble right now. Talk about if this had gone differently or that had gone differently. They have 3 losses in conference play. They have lost to Stanford, Wake, and SMU, essentially all at the buzzer. They lost to SMU on a half-court shot. They lost to Stanford and Wake both on a last-second 3. They're a pretty good team. Again, if those things go differently, and I know, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but 3-3 in conference play, they could easily be 6-0, 5-1. They've been unfortunate at end of game. So this is a pretty good opponent tonight, and it's one that is on the bubble. And if you're Syracuse looking to make up ground, what better way than to beat a team in front of you?
All right, and I just want to address one more thing. LA Orange says, you guys said that they would have won more games last year if they had Donnie. I think we said they probably would have beaten Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, and one other one. Who the hell did they lose?
I mean, I look at it this year, too.
I'm not saying they're a tournament team without them.
Right.
They probably would have beaten the really bad teams.
I do think they would have won more games if their best players were on the floor. And you're right. We don't know the answer to that. But if Donnie plays against Hofstra,
Georgetown,
I think they probably win. Yeah, I think they win 3 or 4 games last year that they lose if their best players are on the floor.
They weren't going out and beating Duke.
I don't think that's a stretch to say that, though.
Yeah.
And again, you're right. We don't know because we didn't get to see it. But I firmly believe that if they had their best players on the floor, they would have won more games against those teams that were close. I think they would have beaten Hofstra if Donnie's on the floor. I think they would have beaten Houston if they made one more free throw. I believe that to be true. We'll never know, but I believe that to be true.
And another thing with Scooter saying Betsy on the floor and Kings on the floor, Syracuse, the zone has worked a little. They've struggled to rebound out of the zone badly. I don't know if anybody's noticed that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we're a little bit behind here. We've got Fran Brown coming up at 1 o'clock. We've got David Teal on at 1:30. We'll talk Virginia Tech basketball with David coming up, but more of your phone calls next on ESPN Radio.
Thanks, LA Orange. You're a treat. Right now. I did not say it was a good thing they didn't have Donnie. I said if they played close in those games, it would be a good thing. And they did. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Now the chat's getting to me. And I'm yelling at Tim. All right. That's great, Dilemma Q's. I hung a clock yesterday. Or this morning. Sorry. Please don't. Govendo. I heard Josh is having his arm amputated.
He's going to put repaired.
I get it.
Yeah, Kevin, I heard that too. They said at the press conference today, they alluded to the fact that he probably has to have something done, is the way they put it. Yeah. But said that even if he did, that he would be ready to go in time for the spring.
My place has a great view of a parking garage. Well, it's fine walking to work. It's just been back here. Do I headset here? I have a great view of the atrium parking garage, and I also it's very cold walking to work right now. It'll be great in the summer though.
CJC, yes, absolutely. I said the game against the Broncos, he reverted back to what we've seen from him. I said for the most part, he hasn't been that. That play was absolutely the old Josh. Unacceptable. Like that, what was he doing? You know? Yeah, what was he doing? Yes, every once in a while, it pops up and rears its ugly head. It did against the Broncos, but for the most part, he's been good.
Didn't someone do that right in front of the Easter Bunny, too? That's so selfish. I am not sitting at a bar by myself. Like, do I come across as the type of person who would go to a bar by himself and just sit and talk to strangers and bartenders? I think being a bartender made me antisocial just because everybody just bitches about life. And this chat is like being a bartender. I think I've said that before. Is your lady friend a bartender? Because bartenders hear it all, man. Even when you don't want to hear it, you hear it. Oh, why are there? I gotta find these. I can't find them. Nothing like a Fran Brown press conference.
Oh yeah.
Kid and play.
Feels good.
Feels good. You know what won't hurt anybody, Steve? A little match game.
Yeah, we love the match game here.
Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Kid and Play is our artist of the day.
Oh, there goes my mic. I'm digging Kid and Play.
Good.
Steve.
I told you. Thank you.
Is this that was just a wild pitch. That doesn't affect the perfect game.
Yeah, no one noticed that was listening to the radio.
Yeah,
so
I just wanna. Well, you can hear you in the background.
You can hear Tim like off mic.
Oh, there's my mic not being on. That was just a wild pitch. It happens. Had a little too much rosin on my hands.
You're not getting a perfect game, but you could maybe get the no-hitter.
No-hitter, right.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, the match game today is brought to you by Superior Plus Propane. We're calling it Today's Business. And there we go. Wow. You just threw a strike right down the middle. That was beautiful timing. All right, let's just jump into the elephant in the room. Nathan George, how many turnovers in this game tonight?
2.
Wow.
My homerism's coming out today.
Yeah. Until he gets less than 4, I'm gonna say 4.
I'm gonna say 4 as well. By the way, Paulie is leading 86 points entering tonight's game. Steve, you have 80. I have 83.
But I'm an idiot. Paulie knows nothing. People make names about me, saying I'm stupid.
Nathan George's minutes tonight. Again, the conversation of Nathan George shouldn't be playing at the end of the game and all that. He's averaging about 31 minutes per game right now. I went through it on my show yesterday. I don't have any problem with how many minutes each guy is playing. It's more the substitution patterns.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think it kills momentum at the start of the game, and I feel like you could build up. If 5 minutes in, if George is turning the ball over, get him out. But you don't need to do a line change. And I know they're not going to listen to me.
I just have to laugh when I think it was Vito was just calling and making the point that you should stick with JJ. We should have had, JJ in the game there, running the point. He's proven it. Everyone early on in the season was saying the exact opposite, and we were the ones saying he's the veteran.
Yeah, when Donnie was out, everybody wanted JJ to stop handling the ball in those situations.
Yeah, so I guess my point is on the rotations, it's not like Red has a crystal ball. It's tough to project who is going to play well in big spots, and I mean, Nathan George is one of the highest paid players on the team. So
I think the disappointing part is that coming into the year, the expectation was that this wasn't going to be a problem, that the point guard position wasn't going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It was, they got this guy, he was coveted, he led the conference in assists, and that is at least one thing that they don't need to worry about. And now, during this key stretch of the season, it has become near or at the top of the list of things that they have to worry about right now, how much their point guard is going to turn the ball over. And I think that is obviously very disappointing for fans.
I'm going to say 30 minutes, right about his
That's
average.
what I was going to say as well.
I was too.
Wow. What about Kai and Anthony minutes? Oh, yeah,
you can't just fill in for yourself.
Kai and Anthony minutes, I guess this exactly. He had 17 against Boston College.
I was going to say 18 tonight.
I'll go 18 with you, Paulie.
I will go 20.
Okay. And then Nate Kings hit 5 threes in the last game. Virginia Tech known for a very good three-point defense. How many threes tonight for Nate Kings?
3.
I'll go 2.
I got him at 3 as well.
Let's try and project Donnie Freeman and JJ Starling points combined, because this was very close last game. Steve, you said 30. It was 31. I said 32. So we both got some points for that. Just missed an exact match. How many combined points for Donnie and JJ tonight?
You have to write it down.
He needs the calculator.
I got to think.
What is happening?
I got to think. 30.
I'll go
30.
36.
All right, I got 22 and 16. I'm going 38.
I got 15 and 15.
30 for you, Paulie. Okay. How many points will Virginia Tech score tonight? Does the defense bounce
64.
back? I'll say 70. They're pretty good offense.
Right in the middle, 67. 6-7.
And Syracuse is favored to win by 3.5 points. Virginia Tech has won a lot of close games this year. We expect this to be a close game. VT is actually 4-0 in overtime games, amazingly. What do you think the final outcome is tonight? Will Syracuse win, and by how much? Will they cover?
My optimism will be over tonight if they lose, and I think this team needs to come out and make a statement.
So they cover.
Yeah, I think they will cover, and I think they're going to win by double digits.
Why don't you give me a point total? That's what we'll do. How many
think they're
points?
going to win by 12.
12. I'll say they win by 3.
Oof. Man, you stole my thunder, because I was going to say I was going to say they don't cover, but I think they might win. So, can I go 3 as well?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want,
All right,
Steve.
I'm going 3.
Yeah. All right, that's the match game.
Can I do my kicker?
Sure, do it now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never done it with.
Well,
the
this
music
is not
guy.
today's business.
No, yes, it is.
Well, no, I did say, yeah. It's today's business.
Oh, it is. I thought we were going to do today's business at 1:15. My mistake.
Maybe you should listen when Tim talks.
Okay,
You're
sorry.
always just tuning him out.
Sorry. Go ahead.
He's a very important member of the show. I wish you would respect him.
Steve respects me probably more than you. But
Yes,
continue.
that is
Come on,
true.
I respect everybody. A New Hampshire man enrolled at Coastal Carolina University in Southern California is facing burglary charges after he allegedly broke into homes near the schools and poured queso dips in maple syrup on people's television and furniture.
What?
So what he would do is, all right, so he gets caught after breaking into one, and then after interviewing other people, they said that he had broken into their home, stolen a marijuana bong. That's written like an old person. He stole my marijuana bong. And another said that he had broken in, poured maple syrup on their TV and speakers throughout their house. A third person said he attempted to make entry but was stopped. Another said he broke in and broke eggs on the floor. So he was just going in,
making messes.
Yeah, and taking stuff out of people's fridges and throwing it around the house. After his arrest, police found golf clubs, a marijuana bong, a Corona bar light, all of which he had collected from other people's homes.
Collected.
By the way, did you say Coastal Carolina in Southern California? That doesn't make sense.
No,
Coastal South Carolina?
I said Coastal Carolina and South Carolina.
Okay. All right.
But he's from New Hampshire. He had New Hampshire plates.
Glad he was stopped. Okay, we've got to hit a timeout. We'll check in on the market.
It's your queso, right?
Okay.
It's your queso. Hold on.
Trying to stay in time for Fran Brown. Yeah.
We'll make it work. It's your queso, right?
We always make it work,
Someone
Steve.
breaks in your house, pours your queso on your TV. Do you let it go to waste, or do you eat the dip chips in it off of your TV set?
No. You let it go to waste. You get rid of it all.
I think you're the only one in this room
be sitting there
that thought would even occur to.
Eating the chips, because I like this kid. I love queso. Like queso, queso might be top 5. I might seek the death penalty for someone that poured queso, wasted my queso.
Oh man!
But I would invite my neighbors over too. We'd have we'd turn the TV on and we'd all eat queso and chips off it.
Remember when you
ate the ice cube off the floor? I regret that decision.
I was going to say, remember when you asked Bill Fitzpatrick if he would eat an ice cube off the floor?
Yeah.
That's what
remember when I said we had to be out by 46?
But I just want to say that I also regret eating that ice cube off of this floor after seeing what happens in here now. Coming in and there's and fingernail clippings on the counter and
that's
all
what
that
you
other
get.
stuff. Yeah. So I regret that decision. But anywhere else, I would eat an ice cube off the floor. 5-second rule is a Pauly mantra.
We'll check in on the market next. Fran Brown, 1 o'clock. Back after this.
Trying to get like your
Getting
sound bar.
Getting maple syrup off of your couch. Q's Insider, I love queso. Waste no queso. I get it. See, Steve, you think I have outlandish takes. You got to eat the queso, bro. It's yours. It's your TV. You know what happens on that TV. Can I ask Coach Fran Brown? If someone broke in his house and poured queso on top of his TV, would he clean it up or would he just eat the queso? Because queso is that good.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. You do it anyway, but wouldn't waste our time with that. At a certain time, though, because they didn't. I mean, obviously there was 10 seconds of that possession that they didn't foul. So it's right. So it's after their action starts. So it was on William Kyle because William didn't come out.
Have you ever saved anybody's life at dinner, though? You can't eat salsa, right? Because it's red. Oh. How's the weather? He's not paying attention.
Hang on, I gotta tell you something here. A second.
Need the mic sound? Yeah. I know I am a better friend to Steve than Steve is to me. That's not even in question.
What's that?
That I'm a better friend to you. I sent him a video. I've sent him that video of that studies say that your meanest friend is the one that likes you the best. I've sent that to him multiple times. And last night I sent a guy saying, you know what? I don't think that you like me because you're so mean to me. And the guy goes, the reason I'm mean to you is because I like you.
It's confusing, but I'm starting to get it.
Yeah, that's just how I knew my friends like me, is if they weren't being mean to me, I knew something. I'm like, why aren't you talking to me? Kid and Play. Do this my way. Let's go to Lee Baldwin.
That's right. Let's check in on the market. Lee, how you doing today?
Good, guys. Doing well. We had a pretty rugged day yesterday. I think a worst day for the S&P since October of last year. But we're rebounding a bit, and the Dow is up 200 points. So in our world, green is good. Our diamond today, AMD, gaining over 5%. There's continuing to be a shortage of memory chips. And the dog today, I'm looking at Netflix. They reported earnings last night. They had big revenue gains. But the potential deal with Warner Brothers is weighing on the future profit guidance. There you have it, guys.
Thank you, Lee.
All right, Lee, thank you for coming on. All the diamonds, none of the dogs. Be sure to visit LeeBaldwin.com. Quick segment here. We've got Fran Brown coming up next.
That's
Baldwin.
right. He's a diamond, Steve.
We're going to talk portal. We're going to talk off-season.
Not
We're
a
going to talk
dog.
2026. Fran Brown joins us next.
He eat queso off his TV? Can we ask him that?
No, I don't think so. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Oh, I definitely do. I pick up the check. I'm his boss. I can fire him. Although he did take me out to dinner for my birthday, or out to lunch for my birthday.
I did.
Although Steve could fire me from WSYR Plus.
In a heartbeat.
Could you please?
Don't make me do it, Paulie. Don't make me do it.
I had to ask if it was okay if I could watch the NBA on NBC last night, being a WSYR Plus employee. I looked up, and the Spurs had, I think, 70 at half.
Is that right?
Last night. I was like, what the hell? I blinked.
At the New York State Fairgrounds. What's the occasion?
Oh, I don't even have to make up an excuse. He didn't even help me with my move. Maybe that's what I'll ask Coach Brown if I asked him to help me move. Would he
I said that I would.
You didn't even show up this Sunday. I said I could use you again Sunday.
I said, let me know. You never let me know. I asked you like 12 times. The chat is my witness. I asked you several times last week.
Tickets now at cnybrewfest.com. Want a ticket without committing to a session? Grab a golden ticket. Available only at Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus. Get all event details and tickets at CNY.
Yeah, CJC, I'm not a huge AJ Brown fan. Philly, there is a part of me that is very concerned about this game tonight from an SU perspective, yes. Because if they didn't handle the loss well, then this could go south. Yeah.
I think you went radio silent on Sunday.
No, there's no way they're making a change before the end of the year. I mean, I would be stunned if that happened. What did you say?
I think you went radio silent on Sunday, too. I think I texted you a couple times and you didn't even answer. I think you were ignoring me because it was moving day. I have an issue, Steve. Maybe you can help me out with this. Because I've moved from a house to a small apartment, I don't have, like, I had a man cave at my old house, and, like, all my sports memorabilia and stuff went in it.
Yeah.
I have a Darth Vader that stands about this high, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to just...
You have no use for it now?
Yeah, like, God forbid I ever, have a girl over. I can't have Darth Vader in my bedroom.
No, but you put it in the closet for the visit from the girl.
So he's in my bedroom like a child, and then the girl comes over and I put Darth Vader in the closet?
I think so. I think that's the play, yeah. Are we good, by the way? Do we have a thumbs up?
I don't know.
Tim, let us know, okay?
I was just going to donate Darth Vader to, like, a charity place.
All right, y'all. Could you be quiet for a minute? All right, Wiz.
Kid and Play, friends of the program. What one did we have on Kid or Play?
Chill. Yo,
Kid,
Play got
right?
something to say.
Yes.
Yeah. I was sick that day. So that puts musicians Kid, Michael Bivins, and Johnny Gill.
That's right. That's a star-studded lineup right there.
I would go to that concert.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're set to bring on Fran Brown here any moment as we drive into our second hour. It's brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero. This is the way it works now, right? The college football season ended 2 days ago, and it's on to 2026 now.
Yeah. I'm laughing at the chat right now, Steve, because I've been public about my move, right? I'm moving from a house to an apartment, and I'm going smaller. And I'm a man child, and I have a life-size, like, almost Darth Vader doll. For me,
it's a doll?
It's a doll. What else is it? It's not like a real Darth Vader.
Like a replica or like a...
No, it's a doll, dude. That's a toy. And I don't know what to do with it. Because I can't put it out in the apartment, because if I have company and, like, this dude's got a Darth Vader. I also have, the 1978 Millennium Falcon. That I had a display in my man cave that I can't do anything.
How big is that?
It's huge. I'll donate the Darth Vader. I'm not getting rid of my Millennium Falcon.
You don't have some place where you can store it? Or?
Like I don't want to. If you're gonna have it, you gotta own it and display. You're gonna be like, yeah, I'm a Darth Vader owning cool dude, like, for your friends.
All right, if you say so.
But if you bring a lady over, you should just put it in the closet. No, I don't know if I could do that.
And what if she opens the closet and sees it? What's this? Then
yeah. Why do you have a Darth Vader doll? I'll keep the Millennium Falcon's worth money.
Well, I was going to say, is the Darth Vader worth money?
I don't think so, but it's just cool looking. So I think I'll give it to, like, Goodwill or something.
All right. Well, if you want me to, like, hang on to it for a little bit.
I could have gotten it. Like, I have so much sports memorabilia, too. I have a Floyd Little signed SU football helmet. I can't put that out in, like, my living room, can I?
Probably not. You could put it in your office, though.
I don't have it. Steve, I'm in a one-bedroom apartment.
You have an office here.
Have you seen that?
I have, but you could do some redecorating. That should be displayed somewhere.
It's tough.
I would. I was going to say I'll buy it off you. How about I swap a Hunter Goodman signed baseball card for a Floyd Little signed helmet?
I also have a Donovan McNabb smudged autograph on a football helmet.
I've seen that. They used to live here for a while.
We good yet?
I don't think so. No, we're just waiting on a confirmation.
Okay,
but we will have him on here shortly.
Man, this is the way Syracuse has got to look at this for basketball. Before we get interferent, every game is the biggest game of the year. Every game is a must win. You are in the playoffs now. Are you going to lose more games? Yes, but you've got to beat the teams that even could finish below you now. So this is one of them. You've got to win this game.
Yeah, it's a huge game tonight. 9 o'clock tip inside the Dome between Syracuse and Virginia Tech. We'll get back into basketball as the show moves along, but as promised, we're pleased now to be joined by the head football coach of the Orange, Fran Brown. Coach, it's always great chatting with you. It's been a few weeks since we last heard from you. How you doing?
I'm chilling. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. We're doing great. A lot to get to, right, this time of year. I mean, the season just ended officially, I guess, on Monday, and, everybody is knee-deep into the portal and looking ahead to 2026. And I guess with that in mind, let's jump into the portal and, give us an overview. How you feeling about how things are going right now in the transfer portal for you guys?
I feel really good. I think that everything went well. I mean, it's a blessing to be able to get new players on the football team, guys that want to be here, guys that are just committed to the grind, committed to our culture, committed to becoming the best version of them daily, right? Like everybody wants to win a championship, and that's extremely important. For us, we're just trying to get guys that want to do that daily, right? They're just trying to dominate daily, want to get up daily, want to be able to compete daily at all the things they do. So I'm excited. I'm very thankful about the guys that we have on our team. Honestly, thankful about everybody that visit campus, period, right? I thought we had a lot of good talent on campus, and everybody got a chance to go. I'm thankful for the guys that were on our team that where we had parted ways and different things of that nature, and they got opportunities to land places. But I'm really happy about our football team. I feel really good. I think that we have a lot of really good character and integrity, to be honest with you. Two things that are extremely important when it comes to being successful as a football player during the time you're playing and also after.
Coach, you brought up being committed to the grind, and before we get into who you got, let's talk about the fact that you were able to keep a lot of players, and they were committed to the grind and stayed at Syracuse.
Yeah, I feel like, to be honest with you, everybody we wanted is here, right? Like everybody we wanted is here, and the guys that didn't want to be here, they're not here. So I think it was mutual on all ends with everybody, right? Like everybody that's here was truly wanted to be here. They were well sought after. I had constant conversations with them, constant phone calls. I recruited them like crazy I just recruit my players all the time, right? You got to recruit your players daily. But they felt the love. They understand, and they know that love is genuine and it's real. And that's why they're all stayed. That's why they're all here. And everybody that's here was we wanted them here. And there's not anyone that left that I could say, dang, we wanted him to be here, right? It's just, I think both parties sometimes come to a mutual agreement that it's time to go, right? It's like the end of the divorce where you have to sign the papers and it's like, dang, it's over, right? So that's where we were with everything. I'm happy for the guys that did play here, that got a chance to play here, that helped us last year. But I feel like our culture has taken a major shift in the direction that I wanted to go through. Just think of this, all the kids that every semester I've been here, we had over 3.0. Last semester wasn't. And with all due respect to everyone, the guys that stayed, they had a 2.9 GPA, right? And I won't bring up the other GPAs, but everyone that stayed at a 2.9, we ended up with like a 2.6 something, right, overall. And that's our lowest team GPA since I've been here of the semester. So, but everyone that stayed, we have a 2.9, and that's actual stuff. I don't want to bring up the other numbers because I don't want to cause anything or anything like that, but I'm excited about the guys that are here. That not only are they good football players, but they're also great students also.
And to that point about player retention, I came across this stat the other day, Coach, that you guys have the 6th fewest transfers among Power 4 schools who played 150-plus snaps. So, as you said, the experienced guys, for the most part, are staying put, and that's a very good sign. You told us at the end of the season that you wanted to go in the portal and add a couple of quarterbacks, and you talked about adding a quarterback from the high school level as well. Can you bring us up to date on, we know that you've signed a few, including Malachi Nelson recently. Can you bring us up to date on that quarterback room and kind of your thoughts on those guys?
I think they're all doing well. First off, I'm very thankful for where Steve's at with his therapy and his rehab. He's dominating that, right? Like, he's leading our football team the way that he's supposed to lead our football team. We was able to go out though and go get Amari who I thought he did an amazing job at Kennesaw, right? Just going in and being a former basketball player who's just still getting into the early part of learning football, to the developmental stage of it. He's super competitive. He brings a lot of experience to our team. Malachi Nelson, who we all know, who was at one point the #1 player in the country coming out. He brings a lot of experience, especially with our quarterback coach, being able to coach those guys up. So there's a lot of competition there. And then for us, we were able to get like a really talented guy to come on the team that was like a late all of a sudden. And Danny, who played at Georgetown, who's super talented also, that can do things. And then our future, right? When you look at our program, our future in the next 2 to 3 years, right? 2 years, it'll be my main man, our quarterback. So there's nothing like our young freshman who's fresh out of high school in North Carolina, being able to go down there and get Zaid. Zaid's he's a ball player, right? He looks like a young Cam Newton running around. He's huge. In the weight room, he works out. He goes and throws the ball with the players already. He's following everything that Steve and Mari and those guys are telling him to do, and he's being coached up right. I'm really thankful for Coach Sean Ryan and Charlie Brewer, who are our quarterback coach and assistant quarterback coach. I think those guys are doing a real good job with these guys already, with just spending time with them, talking to them, and making sure that every guy is developed, right? I think that that was something that hurt us last year. Guys weren't ready, right? Nothing towards whoever else, but after Steve went down, like everything went down, but it was truly a blessing because we were able to clear the ship and just make it be able to run the way it's supposed to run.
Coach, you brought up Steve Angeli and said his rehab's going well. A question that we get a lot, it's kind of a two-part question. Will we see him at all in the spring? And I guess more importantly, fans want to know, is he expected to be 100% by the time, August rolls around?
Yeah, he's going to compete. Steve's already competing. He's competing his butt off every day. You can see him in the spring. You'll see him throwing the ball right now. I mean, he's already out throwing the football and being able to do that. There's just certain things that he won't do. He will not have a human run past him in the spring from a defensive side of the ball unless they want to go in the portal. So nobody will be around him. But he's going to be able to compete. He's going to be in all meetings. He's going to do everything that's needed. He just won't be in any live events. And as he knows, there's competition. Like he actually helped recruit those guys to come here. Steve wants to compete. He's a pro, right? And the only way you'll get better is to be able to have competition around you, another talent around you. You can't get better if you're just the best one. So for him, he wanted to have a lot of guys around. He talked to guys on the phone, told them why they should be here. He hosted a couple guys. So all those guys come here just to compete. Like, if you want to compete, you got to come to Syracuse right now, right? Because there's a lot of kids and a lot of guys here that are they just want to compete and have fun.
You want to talk about your wide receivers? It seems like you gotten a little younger there at the wide receiver position.
I mean, you may feel that way. I just, I think we're pretty good at that position. I think that will end up being one of our strengths of our football team. You got Cole Weaver, who just came from Miami, Ohio. He's 6'5". He just jumped a 39-inch vertical yesterday. But he had like 600-some yards. So I think he had more yards than everyone on our football team last year. You also have Elijah Moore, who's a good football player. Didn't get to play a bunch at Florida State now, but coming out, he was a good player. And we felt as though he was really tough. And a kid who we saw after like so much, he was high on our radar, and somebody who I was a little upset that we didn't get him last year when he decided to go to Penn State. He hit the portal and was on his way to visit another school. We asked him to stop by first, and I didn't let him leave till he signed. So we were able to get Matthew out, and then that helps us a lot, being able to get Matt out in here also, to go along with Darren Williams and all the other guys we got, right? Let's not forget about Calvin Russell's also here, right? Calvin's just playing basketball at the moment, so we got a lot of height and skill set. We got guys that are natural ball catchers, guys that can just catch the ball. I did think Justice Ross could catch the ball natural last year, but he was not healthy to be able to show us that. But a lot of these guys can catch the ball natural. And Josh Gaddis has been doing this for a long time when it comes to wideouts, of just developing them, right, from when he was at Penn State. What started out Western Michigan and Penn State and Alabama, Michigan, everywhere he goes, he's been able to do that and develop wideouts. So he's back in his comfort zone of being able to develop our wide receivers.
You brought up the name Calvin Russell. As you mentioned, he's playing basketball right now, and he had a chance to speak with the media the other day, and he mentioned that not only did you allow him, quote unquote, to play basketball, you encouraged him to play basketball and kind of live out his dreams. Can you speak to, I guess, that decision to, let him play both? And then the second part of that is, what can football fans expect to see from this kid when we see him out on the field?
I mean, when you see him on the football field, first off, he's going to play every position because he can play. He could be a quarterback, but he's not our quarterback, so can really play. But he's going to play inside. He'll play outside. He'll do a lot. He's really quick. A lot of times you see big guys and you think they're just a vertical threat or just a fade ball. I mean, this kid can really run routes. He has quick feet. He gets in and out of his breaks all the time. He can catch the ball natural, and he's tough, right? His mom is a tough woman. His mom had 1,000+ points in basketball at Miami. So, that's where he comes from. Then his dad's a good guy too, that loves to compete. So this kid is just a super athletic. When I watched him play, the first time you're going to see him play basketball, you go see guys play, and he was playing point center. So on offense, he was the point guard, and on defense, he was going to center. And they played a good team who had about 4 kids go. I think they was playing Norland, if I'm not mistaken. But they had about 4 kids that went Division I in basketball, and he might have had 40 that night. It seemed like he had 60. But he was just scoring and shooting and talking trash, and he had that dog that you're looking for. He has that dog and that instant, we're good because I'm here mindset, right? And we're not going to lose to these guys. I'm going to do it all myself if I have to. And he comes with that on the football field. When you go watch him on the field, he has that same mindset and personality, but he's always happy. He's a natural leader, so I'm thankful to have him on the team. It's important to have him, Calvin and Demetrius together. A lot of guys not paying attention and listening to us. We just got Demetrius to go up a year early as I started recruiting him. Hey, leave early. But you really take a look at it, you got 2 guys that would have been top 25 players in the class of 2026 coming to Syracuse at the moment, because Demetrius is still 17. Calvin's actually older than him right now. So I'm excited about him, knowing where he's at, and just who he is as a wide receiver, and just happy he's a part of our team. I think he had to play basketball because he was that good. And I really think, honestly, it just brings the whole school together. Like having somebody that can play both sports, that can do that and do that, I mean, it brings us all together. It brings everybody to be close, right? We all won anyway, right? So that Block S, everybody representing the same thing. So it's pretty cool to see him be able to do it and to see the basketball kids and the football players and just all of them hang together, right? Everybody be around each other. I mean, it helps it out a lot. It helps the community a lot also when you see us doing stuff, which you'll see us doing more community service things together, and then not just being football team did this, basketball did that. We're just talking about doing more stuff together and being together, because I think that this community is like the athletics here is community owned, right? So just excited about that.
Very well said. One other position group I want to ask you about before we move on to some other things quickly, the O-line. A lot of people are wondering about the O-line and where things stand with that group right now.
Oh, shit. We got Juan. You see who our O-line coach is, right? Yeah, we got Juan. That should be the least of your worries. Nobody left, though. Right, everybody came back, and we picked up one guy that played last year, someone else, but everyone came back. Nobody left. We're excited about that group, and they'll continue to get developed. They have one of the best coaches in football, period, that's coaching that position. I mean, I'm honored that he's on our staff, right? I'm excited that he's on our staff. I'm thankful for what he's already doing with the players. You got Joe Cruz and Trey Mack and Byron and all them. Everybody's getting their weight right. Make sure y'all stay on Byron. When y'all see him, everybody, make sure he keep getting his weight right and moving, him and Skyler. But they're doing a good job. Byron's really leading that group already as a sophomore. He's in the mindset of, hey, we're going to win. We got to be pros. We got to win daily. So Coach Juan's doing a hell of a job with them.
All right, another new coach. You guys got Sean Ryan at QB coach. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Intelligent. Shit. Tom Coughlin called me and told me he'd be a guy that he would hire if he was working right now. He coached with him when he was with the Giants. I mean, the list of the coaches that he's coached with, Stafford and Eli Manning and Sean Watson, P.J. Walker, Sam Darnold, like he coached all those guys, right? And those guys speak highly of him, not like he was a coach on the staff. He was their actual position coach, and then now he gets to be our guy's quarterback coach. It's truly fun to be able to have him with us. Our players like him. Steve loves him. Malachi likes him a lot. That was one of the reasons that a lot of these guys were able to come and commit, to be able to commit to us, because they see that we have someone that's going to be able to develop them all. Because they all understand and know it's only going to be one guy to start, but we're all going to lead the whole team. All of our quarterbacks are locked with arms, and they lead the team, and the team is following, and may the best man end up on top, right? So that's how that goes.
Since we're talking coaching additions, let's get your thoughts on Vince Karras. The more I read up about him, the more I like him, and the more we find out about him, we can understand why he got the job. What do you like most about Vince Karras and what he's going to bring here for your defense?
I think he brings the details that I've been looking for, of like who I am as a football coach and as a person. He naturally has that already. We kind of teach the same way. There's a lot of things that we believe in the same. We both want to be champions, right? We want to be champions daily. He's a man of faith. He's a good husband. He comes from a good grade of football. I mean, look who his father was, right? His father done that, and then he was able to learn under his father all that time. Then he was able to take over, and then being able to come here. And I think the things that I'm not great at, he's good in, and the things that I'm not, that he might not be great at, that I'm good in, right? So we're a great mix for each other because we complement each other well. And there's constant communication with him, myself, Coach Nixon, and our new special teams coordinator, Coach Bear. Just all of us are constantly talking after every meeting to make sure that we're all on the same page, that things are being done the right way, being taught the right way on both sides of the ball, because I want to make sure that everybody's being taught the same way and we're all speaking the language, and we all got the same goal and want to see each other succeed on both sides of the ball, and also with special teams.
Coach, you mentioned there what you're good at, what you're not good at. Now that you've had a chance to digest last season, a little time away, what can people expect differently out of you as a head coach?
To have another quarterback ready. Make sure I got another quarterback ready to play. Not being able to see that right there, that was just wasn't good at all. I think that was it was irresponsible. It was it's not acceptable. It won't happen again. It shouldn't go that way. Secondly, I would say just the patience of understanding. You're going to be able to see me understanding things a lot more. I mean, we're just going to compete, though, right? I'm going to have a tough football team. You can expect us to run the ball a lot better. We'll still be able to pass, but expect us to run the ball. I think the coaches you go get, as long as they can go out and then you'll be able to see what we do by what I'm coaching and what I'm asking for, and the coaches being able to see that. I think there'll be complete vertical alignment in the program. I feel like last year we were riding off of the year before, and guys didn't pay attention to all the signs that were there. See, everyone's blaming it on Steve getting hurt and this not being that. I mean, that was a blessing that got to happen that way, because I was able to see everyone that didn't belong. I was able to see the things that I was doing wrong, right, and being able to fix those. And there's nothing like being able to self-examine yourself and understand and know. So when people are coming and saying things that you may need to fix, it's like, yeah, I was right about that. I'm on point with that. One of my best conversations over the break, I got a chance to talk to Nick Saban for about a half an hour, and he just told me some things that he thought that I should do, and when I come see him, to be ready for certain stuff. But he gave me some really good things of just talking about, and told me the things that I'm extremely good at, keep doing them and don't allow anybody else to do them. For me to make sure that I do the recruiting, that I bring the guys in, that I'm on top of that, and then allow the coaches to coach, allow them to coach their players, allow them to put the scheme in and understand it, but make sure I know the scheme, because if it doesn't fit what I want, then we have to change it. So I thought that was some really good advice that I got from him, and being able to talk to him helped me a lot. And Tom Coughlin, being able to speak to him a few times helped me a lot also.
Yeah, very good advice. One follow-up on the coaching staff. Obviously, when you bring guys in, that means you're losing guys to other programs as well. I just wanted to get your thoughts on Elijah and Nunzio in particular, both moving on. And a common question we get is, they were so tight. Are they good? So I'll ask you, everything good with you and Elijah and Nunzio, and as they move on to other jobs now?
Yeah, absolutely. They still got a job. I'm thankful for them. they helped me get where we are right now, right? They help different things, and people may look at it other ways, but me and Elijah will be related for the rest of our lives, right? So that's one thing. I'm happy for him. He has an opportunity of just going where he played ball and where he was successful. I not played ball, but where he was at and where he was successful, and him and his family is happy about it. So if that's where him and his wife wants to be at, then that's where I think they should be. And for Coach Nuns, man, I'm really happy for him that he gets the opportunity to go be an offensive coordinator, right? That's what he wanted to do for a long time. So that helps a lot. And I think Coach E is going back with a really great defensive coach who will be able to, he's the co-coordinator there, so he'll have an opportunity of continuously the things that he did learn over the last few years to learn a little bit more to put in his own toolbox. So when it's time for him to go be a head coach, he'll be able to take care of all the problems and things of that nature. So I'm happy where both of them landed at, because I think that where they are, they'll both end up being even more successful than they already are. But I love those dudes, so there's never an issue when someone leaves. As long as they're happy when they leave, I'm good.
All right, that's what we like to hear. You've been gracious with your time. We had some other things we were going to touch on. Michael Smith, Ducey, Darian Mensah.
So let's get.
Go ahead.
Michael Smith, he's where he need to be at, right? Like, he signed with us.
Right.
Was a little uncomfortable. I wasn't sure. He wanted to think about the portal. Again, I was lost on how you wanted to do that. But Pete Golden's a hell of a dude. Me and him had a good friendship for some years now. And me and Pete just talked, and that was the best place. We got things that were in line. If a guy wants to leave, then there's certain things that has to happen. But I think Michael Smith will make out better at Ole Miss. I'm happy for Michael. I think he's a good player, and he'll continue to develop on and off the football field. So thankful for him. Tootsie, he's not going to come here and play ball. He's going to allow him to walk on. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about that or not, but it's just different things that had to come about. He's still thinking about it, because when you're going to walk on somewhere, that's your right? You get to do that wherever. I was just going to tell him, like, yeah, you definitely have an opportunity to do that, because I know he was born and raised here. So just wanted to be able to give him a shot to live out something that would be in his dream. But I'm not really sure if that'll happen, because we're getting more and more players on the football team. So it still goes to I got to evaluate it now, right? Like, at first it was like, you come in and see, but then more and more players are coming that can play ball, and I want to be able to evaluate. Some guys have tape, and then there's no tape there, right? But I think that he's a great young man, to be honest. He was from Syracuse, so I figure, why not do that? Why not be able to give him a chance to come back and try and play football at a college in a city where he was born and raised, right? For his early, I think so too. He's about 12 years old. He was here, so meant a lot to do that. Mensah, that's wild. That almost happened to us. Somebody tried to come and get my D tackle. I just hit the coach up, told him, hey, listen, I already know what's going on. We're not doing that. He's staying here to play for me. Me and the kid's parent got in the argument. But at the end of the day, the parent understood and knew that I cared and I loved his son. So he's like, yeah, you're right. He's going to stay there with you. So his son was happy that his dad said he could stay, tore the paper up, and he left out the office. I was happy. I left out the office the same way. And then I couldn't wait till 12:01 came so I could start worrying about that portal on the 16th. Yeah. But what happened with Mensah is, it's the game, right? It's the nature of the business. It's not illegal. So, you just gotta keep make sure you're close to your players, right? Sometimes you may feel that's enough money, but like I heard it was like $10 million. There was something he's supposed to get. Like, what you think he's supposed to do if he's about to get $10 million? Like, he's about to get $10 million. Like, and he's that young and being able to provide for his family already. $10 million. Like, yeah. They could have asked my son to leave right before the portal was closed. I would say, hey, bro, hey, just go.
You would have pushed him, right?
I'd have paid for the flight. I paid for the flight, but it's part of the game, man. I wish him the best. I'm happy for the way the portal is. Now all we could do is just coach our teams up. Everybody get a chance to coach their players the rest of the year, and whatever they say we got to do, that's what we're gonna do, and make sure we try and do the best. I am very happy though, guys, with the character and integrity on our football team. I think that Syracuse, make sure you come out, support this basketball game tonight. This Saturday, next Saturday, go see Miss Felicia and the women's play. They're doing a heck of a job right now. I'm really excited about seeing and watching them play. Lil Darius is killing out there, and then Layla's doing a heck of a job also. So excited watching them, all of them. Just all the girls are doing a great job, and just all of our sports, though. Tune in to Syracuse Sports right now, because the 2026 is going to be a great year for everybody, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be the head of the football program here still. Y'all be safe, all right?
All right,
Thanks,
same
Coach.
with you, Coach. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Fran Brown joining us here on the show. Very gracious with his time. Kept him a little bit longer than we expected, but we love talking with Coach. We'll hit a timeout here. We've got David Teal, Hall of Fame sports writer and columnist from Virginia. We'll switch gears. We'll talk basketball on the other side with David. Back after this on ESPN Radio. Yes, Patch and Louise, it is brown today. It is brown with orange on the undershirt. Orange and brown on the undershirt. How exciting.
Sorry, it's not Bills related. Did we keep him till he got out of there pretty quick? You think he was okay?
Yeah, I offered him a chance to end the interview, and then he kept going, so. He might have just had something else.
I like that. I liked his answer about getting the quarterback right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I was kind of.
I mean, it could be at something at 1:30, and it was like, oh wow, it's almost 1:30.
You're over. At Syracuse basketball, it is. This is a tight-knit team. I tell you guys when there's issues. Year one, there was issues. Last year, that team, you couldn't break them. God bless them. I would have been a mess. Players like Red, if that's what you're talking about. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but they like him. They buy in on what he's selling them. Except for when they have to foul down the end of the game.
My daughter said that somebody just texted her that I said 6'7" on the air. And she said, I'm going to make fun of you now.
Did I tell you a couple of weeks ago, someone asked me if you how you always say, is Paulie really like that? Someone asked me if you were really like that.
Like what?
Like you. And they're like, does he make that stuff up? And I'm like, no, he really is that weird.
Like what?
Like,
what does that mean?
Your
is he
food
like,
and your
food,
like,
okay.
stuff. Like, is he really that wholesome? I'm like, as far as I know, yeah, I've never like hung out with him, but you get him out.
I want to hang out with you.
I mean, I don't know if I get a couple beers in him and he's just like a loose cannon.
Yeah.
They are. They're still together. This team helps itself up. The Beaver Cleaver, yeah. Yeah, Steve's fake. Like, what? What do you mean? What am I?
Well, like that. Like, I don't know. What is, like...
You know what you're like. Like that. Like, because it was actually a friend of mine that's known me my whole life, and it's like, we know you're like that. Is it possible that somebody's like that? That's
funny.
Because you said beaver, probably. City of Cuse got edited for saying beaver. Nice beaver. Ooh, getting funky, Steve. This is a banger.
This might be my favorite Kid and Play song.
I like rolling with Kid and Play. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Kid and Play, our artist of the day. We go from one big interview to another. We just hung up with Fran Brown talking football. Now we talk basketball with David Teal, Hall of Fame sports writer and columnist from Virginia. To talk Virginia Tech, we'll talk ACC hoops as a whole with David. We appreciate you coming on, David. Let's jump right in with this Virginia Tech team. We know this is a very, very important game for Syracuse, coming off a bad loss to Boston College. Same thing for Virginia Tech, right? In that, they're a bubble team. They have an opportunity to go on the road and pick up a conference win. What can you tell us about this Hokie squad through the first 7 or 8 games of conference play?
Not only a conference win, but also a quad one win if Syracuse were to remain in the top 75 of the net. Guys, I was thinking about it earlier, and Virginia Tech and Syracuse have had very similar seasons. How many games did Donnie Freeman miss?
9. Yeah. 9 or 10, yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what Toby Lawal missed. And Lawal is rounding back into form now that he's back in the lineup, and so too has Freeman. So in that regard, it seems that these teams should be, pointing upward. That should be the arc. That's why I was so mystified the loss at Boston College the other day for the Orange. That hit me out of left field.
You say that, but isn't that like part of playing conference basketball, though, that if you're not Duke or Virginia, you're going to lose a game like that, in conference play?
It's a point well taken. Just look at last night. Clemson at home on a 9-game heater, NC State. Miami at home, arguably the biggest pleasant surprise in the league, loses to winless Florida State. And you're right. You can never really tell in conference play, but there's no doubt that when you are a bubble team, such as Virginia Tech and such as Syracuse, you can't afford to lose games like that. And Virginia Tech has. Literally gave games away against Stanford and SMU.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at their season, and man, they've been in a ton of close games. They lost to Stanford, Wake, and SMU all on late shots. Obviously, the SMU was that buzzer beater at half court. Stanford and Wake were both late threes. On the flip side, they win a triple overtime game against Virginia. They're 4-0 in overtimes. Have they had good luck or bad luck, or is it just kind of like evened out over the course of the season so far?
Yeah, regression to the mean, right? I don't know that it's been luck, guys. Virginia Tech has only itself to blame for the losses against Stanford and SMU. You're up 12 with just a couple minutes to go on your home floor. You cannot lose. It's just a game that's almost impossible to throw away. And yet they did. And then they're on the road against SMU with the ball, seconds to go, throw away an inbounds pass. Perhaps the biggest mistake is they then, with nary a second going off the clock, give up a lob dunk and underneath inbounds, then miss the front end of not one but 2 1-on-1s. And then Boopy beats him from half court.
Truly unbelievable. I was watching that game live in the office before I went on to do the sports that night, and just a remarkable finish. Not if you're Virginia Tech, of course, but just an unbelievable finish. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. Wanted to get your thoughts on Syracuse. We watch every second of every game. David, you from afar and looking at it from a bigger lens and an ACC perspective as a whole, what do you make of this Syracuse team, and what do you make of Adrian Autry here in year three as the head coach?
It looks like there's progress. from last season. Obviously hit the portal hard. Ings and George and Kyle, bringing those guys in. J.J. Starling, his scoring average is down, but his efficiency is up. The shooting percentages are up. Free throw shooting, I know, has been a little bit of an issue, but not so much in conference play. In league play, the numbers have been pretty good. So this is a team, proverbial bubble, and the Orange has lived there over the years under Coach Boeheim as an ACC team. And it's just a matter of, can they get over the hump? The good thing for both Virginia Tech and Syracuse is because of the overall improvement of the conference, there are far more quad one opportunities in league play than in the past two seasons.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And they've got, as it's projected right now, anywhere from 6 to 8 quad one opportunities the rest of the way, but they're going to certainly have to win a bunch of those to get on the right side of the bubble. When you look at this game tonight, David, how do you kind of break it down? How do you handicap it? What's it going to come down to, in your opinion, between Syracuse and Virginia Tech?
Guys, I think I have this right. The Hokies have won one time. One in the Dome. It has been a little shop of horrors for the program. Now, did these players compete in those games? No. But it just seems like bad things happen to Virginia Tech in the Dome. Ken Palm's got Syracuse by 2, and that is Virginia Tech's MO. Darn near every game comes down to the wire. So who buttons it up defensively late? Who makes a key shot? Tyler Johnson still ruled out for tonight for Virginia Tech, one of its better rebounders and defenders. That hurts. They need to get him back on the floor here soon if they're going to make a push for their first tournament bid since 2022. So 2 desperate teams. And when 2 teams are desperate, I tend to lean toward the home squad.
Yeah, certainly makes a lot of sense. David, when you look at the ACC as a whole, we know the narrative the last few years is that, well, the conference has been down and they've only had 4 or 5 teams make the NCAA tournament the last handful of years. This year looks different, right? I mean, you look at the projections and, 8 teams in, 9 teams in, depending on which projection you're looking at. Do you think ultimately they'll get, 7, 8, 9 teams in this year?
I do. And because the narrative is different, and rightfully so much of NCAA tournament credentials these days is determined by your non-conference performance in November and December. And last year, guys, ACC teams were 20 and 59 against their Power 5 peers in non-conference play. And this year they're 38 and 39. That's a huge, huge turnaround, and it's reflected in the net. You see 8 ACC teams among the top 35, and then squads like Virginia Tech and Cal and Stanford and Syracuse there in the middle. Which one of those teams can elevate and insert themselves into the conversation? But yes, I'd be very surprised if the ACC doesn't get at least 7 and perhaps more bids to the bracket this season.
You mentioned a moment ago that Miami's been one of the big surprises. Is that the team that has surprised you the most out of the conference to this point, or is it somebody else?
Probably Miami, just because the Canes were so bad last season with Jim Laranaga's abrupt in-season retirement, and then rookie head coach in Jay Lucas, completely revamped roster. How are you supposed to evaluate or project that in preseason? And then they go out and win their first 4 conference games and also play well in non-league contests. And then I'd say the same thing for Clemson. Now, Brad Brownell and his program have been humming of late, went 18-2 in the league last season, but he also had to flip his entire roster. And they started out just superb, 6-0 in the league. That's a 24-2 run in ACC play for Clemson basketball. That's pretty remarkable and speaks to the culture and the program that he has built down there at Clemson.
Are you worried at all about North Carolina? All their losses are quad one losses, but, it seems like they struggle a little bit.
Yeah. Defensively, they were, this is a harsh word, but it's accurate. They were wretched defensively out on the West Coast last weekend against Cal and Stanford. And heck, throughout conference play, teams are shooting well above 40% beyond the arc against the Tar Heels. Now, they have a get-right game tonight at home against Notre Dame, but then, weather permitting, they have to come to Virginia on Saturday. And the Cavaliers can light you up from three. And also on that day, they're naming the court after Tony Bennett. So, again, weather permitting, that will be a very amped atmosphere and a very challenging test for Carolina.
No doubt. One last one from me, David. I know you had a chance to cover Curt Cignetti when he was at James Madison. You wrote a piece recently about him and this season. What can you tell us about him and his personality and him as a coach and what they accomplished this year, going 16-0 and shocking the college football world the way they did?
Well, guys, what they did this season is truly remarkable. You're among the top three in the country in scoring offense and scoring defense, and you lead in turnover margin. That's a heck of a winning formula, and it just speaks to the discipline that he instills in his teams. And we saw it at James Madison. He authored that transition from the FCS to the FBS, and it was seamless, and it was like none we had ever witnessed before. And that first season that they were truly bowl eligible, they go 11-1, and he takes the Indiana job, and we're all thinking, what in the hell is he thinking? He's committing career suicide. But Curt Cignetti has confidence in Curt Cignetti, and lo and behold, those Nick Saban lessons and also the lessons he learned from his daddy, who was a college football Hall of Fame coach, have really taken hold. And guys, what you see on camera from Curt Cignetti is exactly how he is in person. That is him to the T, and I couldn't help but chuckle all season long watching him, thinking that's the Sig I knew in Harrisonburg.
Yeah. I win games. Google me. I love that line.
It's the way he rolls.
Yeah.
And, he's got a little humor to him, but at his heart, he just wants to watch tape and evaluate football players and then teach them how to be better. And he doesn't have a whole lot of use for knuckleheads like me. He's very polite, but he's often looking at his watch saying, when can we wrap this up?
That's awesome. David, great stuff. We appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much for the time today.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
All right, David Teal joining us here on the show. Well, go ahead,
You said
Paul.
something interesting, and I know the fans don't want to, but do you think from an outside perspective, like if you're thinking about rebuilding a basketball program from, he said it looks like progression. Do you think to like outside basketball people and writers, it looks like progression in just us in the bubble of Syracuse look at it as it's god-awful?
No. I think he was. I mean, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Like, it is better than last year. There has been progress in year 3 from year 2. But I also think both things can be true.
Yeah.
You can see progression, but it can also not be good enough. And he didn't speak to the tradition of Syracuse and that the standards are higher, and I'm sure he believes that. And again, he's on a Syracuse radio talk show, so I'm sure he's not going to go in on Syracuse. But I think they both can be true. Like, that's a factual statement. There has been progression this year, but it also isn't good enough where it stands right now.
Right.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also think that we over-dramatize a little bit being here. Right?
Well, I don't know if it's over-dramatization or it's just the people here are a little, they're more familiar with the program and the standards and what it has been and what's expected and... so I don't know if it's your and the people here care more.
Yes, people
right?
are saying I'm lowering the standards. I'm not lowering the standards. I'm just asking if maybe there is a progression to it naturally that we're just ignoring, and it just wasn't going to be like Louisville went from awful to great, and now they might not be as good. So
that's fair. Yes, that is fair to say. That it's not always progress is not always linear.
Look at the football program,
right? So yes, that again, that's a factual statement, but. The next step is the progression is get to the tournament, right? In year 3, that's the progression. Yes. And if they don't do that, I understand, where John Wildhack's coming from. And I don't know if it's yes, I think that sometimes fans, over-dramatize things. Obviously, that happens everywhere. I think it's because you care about the program that you're rooting for in this, in the case of the Syracuse fan base. They're rooting for this program. So, of course, they care more about what happens here than the fact that North Carolina's struggling right now or, or that Indiana went through some tough times or UCLA's gone through some tough times. The Syracuse fan doesn't, those fan bases care about those programs, So, anyway, let's hit a timeout. 315-437-7644. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
I think last year's a tough measuring stick for any. How about we come back? Yeah, let's just double up. Fuck it.
Are you going to come in, though, for that? Yeah.
Last year's so difficult for me because Syracuse was so overmatched last year in NIL and just blew it with Lampkin, and they didn't have a GM. So it's hard for me to even consider. The first year, I think there was talent. It just wasn't his talent, so. Yeah, no, I agree. He's got talent. Yeah, as soon as they did that Lampkin deal last year, I may have been the first one to say, "What the hell are they doing? That kid hasn't even stepped foot on campus yet." There's a He-Man movie? Or is that a joke? I'd watch a He-Man movie. Alone. In my room with the lights off and a candle lit. A box of Kleenex. Who's playing He-Man? I actually have all the He-Man cartoons on DVD. Is she She-Ra? Remember Conan the Barbarian? John Cena doesn't look like He-Man. He's too old. His body's gotten saggy.
Is that a big thing that you didn't? Does that matter that you didn't drop Fran when he said?
No, because it's not us. We can't control what a guest says. He says shit a lot.
Yeah.
No, I was not a fan of this. Why do you keep putting words in my mouth? I was not a fan of the Lampkin signing.
Yeah, Paulie immediately said that he thought it was too quick and that they didn't vet the situation. I think they panicked a little bit.
Yeah, and not having a GM or like how to handle the salaries is difficult. Hola, Steve. I'm rolling with Kid and Play. Are you?
We are today.
I'm opening up This Day in Music as I kill time for one Tim Leonard to come in. There's our boy. Here's our favorite Tim. Top 10 Tims.
Tim Raines.
Oh, good one. The Rock. Tim Raines. The Rock before The Rock was The Rock. Tim
LaCastro.
Kirkchin.
Tim Green.
There you go.
Oh, Tim
good one.
Green.
Good
Tim.
one. Tiny.
Leary.
Tim Lincecum.
Oh, Tiny Tim. Good one.
We should mention you've got Dominique Darius on your show tonight.
Yes, yeah. And we're going to talk to her about some wild performances in the last couple games for her individually and for the team. Some crazy plays she's been involved in, of course, and just went for a career-high 26 points against Stanford.
Metallica, Cyndi Lauper, David Bowie, Journey. Let me see if I can get somebody new. Flaming Lips. Are they new? I don't even know what they are.
Never heard of them.
Okay, so Flaming Lips, Metallica.
We got to vote for Flaming Lips now, I think.
I don't know about that. Flaming Lips. I knew a girl with that nickname in high school, if you know what I mean, Steve. Old Hot Lips Houlihan. Remember her?
That was the most dad joke I've ever heard on these airwaves.
Metallica. Cyndi Lauper. David Bowie.
Paulie's Spotify lip.
Yeah. Or Paulie's Spotify. Because I'll even throw Barry Manilow in there.
I've been sitting on Paulie's Spotify.
Yeah, let's do it. I think Paulie's Spotify tomorrow.
You guys don't want the Flaming Lips?
I don't even know what that is. I don't know what genre.
Lips are flaming.
What genre is that?
Hold, please. This is going to be a longer thing. I'm going to see if Flaming Lips are in our system. They're going to be the artist.
Oh my gosh.
All right, because that means they've been played on one of the Galaxy Media radio stations. So I'm opening up right now.
One of the many.
Yeah.
If we're talking about a Cuse loss to Virginia Tech tomorrow,
what better way
Flaming Lips is the artist of the day. I can't think of a worse combination
than me picking songs that I enjoy and being happy while Syracuse lost.
Tim just showed me a picture of the group. This isn't going to go well.
Psychedelic rock band.
AKA. Are we old? Is this making us sound? Oh, there's two of them. Okay, yeah, we're not doing that. 'Cause
The name of the song?
The name of the song is completely wild. Come over here, look.
Yeah, I'm looking them up right now. Steve's face there. Can you say it on air?
Yeah, it's the title of a song. It's called She Don't Use Jelly. By the Flaming Lips, plays on K-Rock. Must have been a huge hit for him.
They've won 3 Grammys.
Have they?
Yeah.
Best group with Flaming Lips.
That's their hit single. She Don't Use Jelly.
Clip Steve
Broke them into the mainstream, according to Wikipedia.
Okay, then. So we're going with Paulie's Spotify list tomorrow as our artist of the day.
They were placed on...
Did they win a Grammy for She Don't...
I think so, yeah. They were placed on Q Magazine's list of 50 bands to see before you die. Have I heard this? No. Oh, I've heard this.
She don't use cheese.
Oh, I went a
She
different...
don't use jelly.
Any of... Yeah, I think I've heard this.
Yeah, nice. Interesting song.
Okay.
Aren't you glad we played that, Steve?
Yes.
Steve, are you uncomfortable right now?
A little bit, yeah. Never heard of
I
him.
have heard that song. I did not know that was the title of it. I did not know. Do you know what that song's about? Could work there.
Let's end the show.
Please.
All right. 7 songs that... Paulie, I'm going to add that into my Spotify list just in case. It could randomly pop in.
All right, just in case. That seems fair. We got to go. 9 o'clock tip tonight, Syracuse, Virginia Tech. We will talk about it tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody.
Wholesome after all, and then it was not.